G'day and welcome to Duckzorly Gaming and a multiplayer live stream on Farming Simulator 19. So we are on Ravenport and we are getting stuck into some farming. It isn't a brand new setup. We've been at this a few days and we're just going to continue on with some farming. I have Jimmy J and Elroy on the server with me today. G'day, gents.
Good day, sir.
How are you?
Good, good. You might need to turn your sound down a bit. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to take this over and we're going to begin some harvesting. So currently I have a oat field over here in my farm, and we are going to be harvesting that because unfortunately Mr. Chris Webb, who's not with us today, has put those horrible four-legged things on his farm and he needs oats. So I accidentally sowed oats instead of sowing grass for my farm because I'm running a sheep farm, and we need to give him some of our oats because otherwise we would have just been ploughing it all in. So there we go.
So you're kind of aiding and abetting this adventure here.
Please don't say that publicly.
All right.
But yes, for the want of a better term, yes we are. Alright, so we're in the ideal. We've got the Challenger and we're just going to begin harvesting this oat field, and we'll call the boys over when we're ready to offload. So we've got a number of farms on this multiplayer server. I think we have 5 in total now. And various members of Duckzorly Gaming are admins of their own farm, and seems to be working quite well. The last patch has fixed a couple of little things on the multiplayer side of it. There still are some issues which we're not going to delve into very deeply, but overall it's actually been quite a pleasant experience with the multiplayer server. Now, for those of you that may be interested, and I'm not affiliated with them or getting any money from them at all, but I actually use a company called Game Service for my server. It has been very stable and running quite well. So if you are looking at setting up your own server, go check out gameservers.com. They have server locations in most parts of the world. And this one here is actually an Australian one. So my American friends and even my Kiwi friends are playing on an Australian server. So, and who knows, we might see the infamous Grizzly Bear Sims. He's been here the last couple of days. In fact, he was here late last night doing a bit of work, cleaning up Chris's farm. So who knows, we could see anyone in here. Anyway, alright, let's continue on. So what we'll do is, while we're having a look and we're talking about the farms, let's pull up the map and have a look at what we've got in the way of farms. So as you can see, we have we've got 4, 5. Yeah, we've got 5 farms. So we've got the pond, which is my primary farm. We have DC's Den of Dementia. We have Webb's Horse Ranch, Ryan's Realm, and Sandwich. So if we go and have a look at the actual map, and we bring up the lands. So there you go. At the moment, I've got this big plot up here. I'm doing, as I said, I'm doing a sheep farm. So all of my fields, bar field 5, is set for grass. They've been ploughed in and replanted with grass. And we've also taken this area over here. We're going to cut down these few trees and use this grass that's over here as well. We have Chris's farm is this one over here. So he's got fields 9, 10, 11, and he's got his horse stable there. We've got that going there. DC's farm is over here. He has fields 12, 6 and 13. We have currently purchased the BJ. However, I do need to sell that back because I've finished experimenting with that. So that's gone. We then have Ryan's, hang on, I can't remember which one was which now. Ryan's Realm, I think, is this one, and this one here was Sandwich. As you can see here, we've got Jimmy J is running his farm over here. So he's got fields 14, 15, 16, 17 and this area off to the side. And then the other one down here, which was normally managed by Elroy and Grizzly, they've got this big area down here with all the smaller fields. So that's the lay of the land as it currently is, and yeah, so it's been quite good fun so far. Obviously, one of the things with this is it changes a lot of things in relation to the management of it. You need to be a contractor to work on someone else's farm, and you need to be a manager to do certain things on your farm and all that sort of stuff. So it does make it a little bit more interesting to manage personnel and getting all that right. The interesting part then is also what equipment you can use to do what. Now, initially when they first released, if you were driving your own tractor and using someone else's tipper, for instance, as a contractor, you still got the profits from the crop. So that's what we just want to make sure of. We want to make sure we get the oats to Chris. So we're going to check the mechanics on that. In the interim, we're probably going to just dump everything in my silo, and then we'll transfer that across to Chris hopefully later on. Alright, so it's 10 to 7 in the morning game time. We've just transitioned to a new day. So the interesting part is some of our fields will possibly, actually no they won't, because what we did too is we actually ended up getting rid of the weeds. We found for the play speed we were doing, the weeds were just becoming too much of a pain, and becoming far too regular. They weren't randomized at all, they were just a guaranteed pop-up. So we've disabled the weeds now. Even though you can see the weed remnants here on this field, we've disabled our weeds. Withering is also off. We don't have withering on, purely because of the fact this server runs 24/7. The last thing we want is for someone to have done all their field work and then come back and find that they've got no crops left because it's all withered. So we did turn that off.
It seemed like the weeds would pop in on you right before it was ready to harvest. It was too late to do anything about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We are running on these. Well, we are running back on normal mode now, normal growth mode, because when we had the weeds running, we put it back to slow to give us some opportunity to try and capture the weeds before they got to the 100% weed level. But now we don't have to worry about the weeds. We've gone back to normal growth, so it means we've got plenty of work to do. It doesn't take too long to grow. And in fact, we noticed, I think it was with the oats, it was only a one-day transition. We went from growing to or sown to the first stage of harvest. So yeah, the normal growth stage seems to be a little bit quicker too than what's previously been the case in 17. The other thing is too, for those that are looking at my video, obviously, I am running the Forgotten Crops mods. So all of my crops, including the latest being the root crops, are running the new textures from LS Mod Company. So if they do look a little bit different, that is most likely the reason why. There is, I think, 5 mods now for that, with various crops, including landscape, which is your trees and shrubs and all that sort of stuff. So go and check it out. There is a mod review. I've just finished editing it. It will be out the next day. But please do make sure, if you are going to implement that, make sure you do a backup of all your original files, particularly the data folder. Otherwise you could get some very bad corruptions. I steer the totally wrong way. So yeah, but anyway. Alright. I am exactly 50% full now. So,
Alright, well I'm not far away.
Alright, well I've got my my tractor and overload wagon, auger wagon at the side of the field, on the northern side of the field here. So use that. We might, have either of you got contractor access to Chris's farm?
I don't know.
No, I don't.
Right, I might have to go and take over his farm and contractor access. We might try and dump it into his silo straight off the bat. If we can do that, it makes it a lot easier for us. So the next patch, or the next main patch coming out for Farming Simulator 19 will be out in about 2 weeks, possibly 3, but it is coming, and that has been confirmed by a source. Now, the actual full level of depth of fixes and that I'm not aware of, but apparently a lot of the stuff that is currently being complained about has been fixed. And one of the comments from the Giants member in particular was that most of the equipment problems have been fixed in that, so that'll be interesting to see. Virtual Farmer's in the house. G'day, VF. We need to be on our best behaviour now. Mr. Giants commentator himself. Alright. You want to take over the combine, Jimmy? For now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to head on over. I'll take on Chris's farm and I'll give you guys contract access to see if we can use his tipper. Alright. So, we're just going to head over there. Right, to manager. Elroy, you've got contractor access already. Jimmy now has as well. Yep.
Okay.
So we'll go over and just see what vehicles he's got, particularly in trailers. I'll probably bring one of his tractors and his trailer over. Tipper, if he's got a tipper. Probably hasn't even got a tipper yet, you know. He's running John Deere's by the look of it. He's got a Joskin, that'll do. Alright, I'll bring that over and then we'll do a load and see if that works. Alright, so what we're doing for VF and anyone else that's just joined, we are doing an oat field harvest. I've got an oat field there and we're harvesting that, but on a separate farm which is owned by Mr. Chris Webb. He's got those 4-legged creatures that have been implemented with this game, and they need some oats apparently, so we're going to provide him with some oats. Whoops. And do that, we just need to be able to manage his equipment and then dump it in the silo, so that's what we're doing. Unfortunately, I've got to drive this green thing as well. So it's the worst of two evils. So you have what?
I have a Voltra off his farm too. We need that.
You have a Voltra? Yeah.
Tippers.
No, it was more just getting the tipper. So I've just grabbed his tipper. Now, if that actually works, and I can offload, or you can offload either the combine or the auger into this, then that'll be fine.
I'm going to need to be unfilled.
You need to be what?
Emptied.
Yep, pulling up. Right, so interesting part now will be if we can dump it in his silo or whether it won't allow us and I've got to dump it in mine or whatever else. But anyway, probably should test that before we start streaming, but anyway, all is good. All is good. No, that ain't happening. FK, you know that ain't happening. You empty now? Alright, I'll go and see what we can do with these oats. What I should do as well is I should sell his John Deeres and buy some Ultras or something. In fact, what I could do is replace them with Hurleymans, just to punish him.
Or maybe just repaint them.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, for the record, I do have a John Deere on my farm. It's not green; it's been repainted black to try and hide John Deere logos. But yeah, that was only out of necessity for power at the time. It is very quick. Actually, I can replace that now because I bought the Challenger, so I can get rid of that. Alright. Now I'm looking forward to hopefully Giants bring out not only the terrain editor, but also, unless a modder beats them to it, the ability to put down some roads and paths, because that is really something that is missing at the moment. And I am damn sure, and VF may be able to correct me on this, but I am damn sure very early on in development when they talked about oh, that worked. When they talked about this being available, or this being an option in the game, they did say that when someone asked the question, that you would be able to build roads and paths and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that part of it coming, because it's just at the moment a little bit unrealistic when we plop all this stuff down and we can't put roads or path or anything around it. So I'm sure once they get the LUA script and all that up and running, someone will very quickly bring out a mod very similar to what we've all been using in 17. And then we'll be right, once they fix the terrain leveling and all that sort of stuff.
I think I have your black John Deere and auger wagon.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Let me know if you want me out.
Alright, what I might do, I can borrow that, or that. I'm going to go and see who else has got a combine I can borrow. The roster will smash there. No, I don't think I'll bother. I'll just wait. Oh, you brought a tractor and trailer over as well, did you? Okay.
I did.
I'm doing, if you want to stick beside me, I'm doing 10 Ks, which is 16 miles per hour, I think.
Kind of getting in your way here.
Yeah, VF. I'm sure I saw a comment on. I'm sure someone made a comment on it on the forum. Not on the forum, on Discord, and it was confirmed. Well, not necessarily confirmed, but where are you going, Elroy?
Just getting ready for the corner.
Oh, okay. And I seem to recall that Listerton had actually said that yeah, it was coming, but wasn't sure of the full state of it. But anyway, I mean, that's the thing that's missing, and it's where if I get into rant mode, that's one of the things that was very disappointing upon launch, from my perspective, that's not there, because it makes it very incomplete. So the statement of being able to build your own farm anywhere is not actually really correct, because you can, but you just got to drive over grass and fields until such time as everything gets fixed. Have you already emptied into your trailer, Elroy, over there? Or the trailer, or Jimmy's trailer?
I have not emptied it all yet.
Okay, alright. While these two are finishing off in here, I might just head back over and continue attempting to load some cotton bales on my flatbed trailer. Hey, Dusty Dave's in the house. How you going, Dave? Yeah, okay. I seem to recall it was one of the most important things I sort of picked up on, and I'm sure it was said. I mean, I'm happy to stand corrected, but anyway, I mean, it doesn't matter now. I mean, we've got the game in the state it's in now, and I mean, without going into details, we all know there are some significant issues. The sooner they're fixed, the better off they'll be. But we'll have to wait and see. All right. So, we've been attempting to take all of our... oh, of course I can't do that. Let's go back into here, go back over to here. Yes. Going back on the farm. Vote to farm manager. Okay, now we can get into our forklift. Yeah, so we've been attempting to load this trailer. This is a Stewart trailer from Blur Modding. We've been attempting to load that with our cotton bales. So, interesting part is we've almost got our Cytec side panel working 100%. There are still some issues with it, and I still have issues with offloading, as I've always had with bales and everything else. So, don't be surprised if you see a bit of a mess. Let me know when you're ready to offload, Elroy, and I'll come back over.
Okay, yeah, I'm only at 45%.
Yeah, I'm good, Dave. I'm good. How goes your map making? I know just the guys at Frontier were saying that I think it's 8.1 beta version of GE has been released. I couldn't find it. I went looking for it. I couldn't see it. But other than on the silly mod sites, I'm not going to get that. So I'm going to be interested to see if I can mod my own equipment. Because I had a bit of a look and there's no DDS file, so I can't do the quick and easy like I used to do. I'm just putting a logo on one of the DDS's.
Oh.
Get out of there. Had a bit of lag then, was it?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
You what?
We'll call it lag.
Okay. Alright.
Between the brain and the arms.
Oh, it's on the GDN, is it, VF? Thanks, buddy. I'll go and have a look. Yeah, so it's not quite as easy, and I was talking to Stevie briefly the other day about what he's found so far. Is it much harder to put logos and everything on equipment? And he was saying something on the lines, and I mean, obviously Dave and others will know better than I would. But something about the fact you have to, if you're going to do that, you have to add it to the original components of the mod or something, and it's a little bit more involved than what it was previously, but we'll find out. Dusty Dave says he started to remake Dusty Cove for Farming Simulator 19 today. That's awesome, and VF says it's awesome. It is awesome. That's good news. Looking forward to that. There you go, guys. You've heard it here. Dusty Dave has commenced work today on his Farming Simulator 19 version of Dusty Cove.
First map I played after I got off the base maps of 17.
Well, there you go. I've butchered that, haven't I? Yeah, textures are a bit more complex. I did note the boys at Frontier were talking about that. Nathan was talking about, and so was BB, about instead of having the 4 textures or whatever it is now, you've got this terrain path thing you have to layer or whatever. I mean, I don't take a lot of notice of it because it's something that I'm never ever going to do. Rob's in the house. We've got another Kiwi here. Oh, geez, Jimmy will be happy. How are you, Rob?
I have a problem with my cruise.
A problem with your what?
Cruise control.
Oh, really?
I had it working a minute ago. I hadn't gotten it to work at all in 19. I tried to remap it, the key for it, and everything. I haven't been able to get it to go yet. But it was working a minute ago, and now it's not. I obviously did something stupid.
Well, I still have random problems with when I start the game. I have to go in and check the key bindings because it's still occasionally the Cytec side panel and also the steering wheel will randomly reassign buttons. But I have saved my input XML file, and basically if I find that, I just override it, then come back into the game and I'm generally okay. This forklift is very, very skittish with the steering. I found. Has anyone else found that? Even with the steering wheel.
I haven't used the forklift yet in the game.
Oh yeah. I love it. I reckon it's a great thing to use. I just can't use it. But I can't use loading forks or anything else at the best of times anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So guys, things we've got 11 viewers in here, which is wonderful. What is your favourite thing so far in 19 that you found? I'm not going to go the negatives, we'll go the good things. What's your favourite thing or the best thing you found in 19 so far?
Oh, for me, it's playing alongside Duckzorly.
Oh, isn't that sweet? So sweet.
I'll give you my bank details later.
It's also very sickening.
No, I've always loved, even in 17, I tried farm building on my own. Got a low note. Sold everything right off the bat. Bought some fields clear on the other side of the map and built my own stuff.
Yeah. The VF says contracts. They're awesome. Everything's awesome to you, VF. We know that. But yeah, I do like the new contractor system. Actually, I haven't spent a lot of time on it in multiplayer, but it is much better than what it was previously. So yeah, I mean that's a fair enough call. I'll get on there. Oh, come on, be nice. I'm not going to wreck it all. Does anyone else have problems with getting pallets off? I can just never get it to release. There's got to be some trick to it. Now I did actually try with this trailer to you're just not gonna come off, are you? I did try with this trailer securing the straps around the bale and then pulling away. That doesn't work because it just pulls it straight out of the straps. So that didn't help me at all. I'm going to give up on that one.
Drive really fast and hit the brakes.
Right.
Not advisable with a real forklift in real life.
Alright, I'm going to come back over and empty you guys off now. See what's going on. As you can see, my farm is a mess. It's all through the grass, and it's wasted grass. That's the problem. I've got grass that I can mow, and I've got to move all my equipment around to mow my grass. Not very good. Getting back to the best part. So, Dusty Dave says, probably the dynamic pipes for the front seat hoppers. You know, I've actually got that set up on one of my tractors, and I've not been able to get those pipes working. It may not work with that particular coon set, I guess, but I did like the look of that when they showcased that off. So that's definitely a good thing. Silver Dragon's in the house. G'day, Silver. How are you, buddy? And Silver says, don't have to have animals if you don't want. Mate, I agree 100%. That is a fantastic addition. The fact that the farming in relation to animals is entirely up to you is a big improvement. So yeah, I think that's a very good change. Oh, sorry, you're all right. Rubbing tyres. Oh, what are you doing there?
That's rough.
Oh, keep still, Elroy.
I told you my cruise is not working.
It's not a cruise you're worried about, it's steering. Oh, this is ridiculous.
Well, let's park it here at the end of this road.
Yeah, park. Just park. Just stop. Oh dear. Yeah, so I think the animals thing is a very good addition. The only thing I've found, particularly with multiplayer, is if you stop your server, this is a bit of a bug. If you stop the server, you come back into the game. Sometimes your animals aren't there, but I have realised that the fix is quite simple. But anyway, so that's a thing aside. But yeah, you definitely can have the animals you want. So for instance, I don't want those new four-legged things, so I don't have to have them. And that to me is wonderful. And it means you don't lose farm space, which is probably the bigger thing. If someone's done a farm, or you want to do your own farm, and you don't want to have cows and pigs, well, you haven't got a cow and pig area on the farm taking up all that space where you could have some grass and be mowing it. So it's very important that that we oh, pardon me, we run over the birds. Very important that you have that ability to remove that, so as we can get in and mow all that grass that are wasting that space. So, but anyway, all good. What else is there? So Farmer Klein says, I like the crop bending, can't stop watching it. I would agree with that. I think the effects on the plants and that as you drive over it looks fantastic. I do like, and this sort of leads into Dusty Dave's question, I do like particularly when I'm running around on the Big M mowing all the grass I possibly can, and you run over the shrubs and the shrubs sort of bend over and under the mower heads and pop back up again. That's very, very good. I do like that look as well. I mean, look, there are a lot of things that are an improvement in the game. However, it's unfortunate with the release, and I've said this verbatim, and I have sent a letter into Giants in particular. It was I try to be very constructive to Giants. I think they failed on QA, on their QA level at multiple levels. There's those horrible four-legged things. I should actually delete that while Chris is not here. I don't have to worry about it. Yeah. So there's
whoa! I just lagged and I crashed our harvest.
Oh dear.
I think we need a breathalyzer test down here, please, Duck.
Okay, I'm on my way. Yeah, so there's many things I think they failed in QA, and it's unfortunate, being the fact that part of my real life is QAing some small to extremely large simulations. Very disappointing some of the stuff they have let through. And I mean, look, the Big M's not one just because I like the Big M, but to me, the fact that they've released a game and one of the bits of equipment in there can't be refueled, that's something that should never have got through. There's no excuse for that. I'm sorry. There's well, you're back up and running now, though. You're all right. Yeah, so there's things like that. But anyway, we're not going to delve into the negative side of it. Yeah, but VF, I didn't see you play the Big M, and you promised you were going to test out the Big M for me and let me know, and you didn't. I was heartbroken. I even was telling you that in your live stream. I was heartbroken that you forgot to get back to me and tell me what the Big M was like. But I'm very proud to say that I love the Big M. The new Big M, the Big M 450, I love. However, I didn't love the fact that I can't refuel it, so on day one I bought a Big M. I went out and I used it. I mowed all the grass I possibly could. Then I ran out of fuel, and then I worked out I couldn't refuel it, so I had to sell the bloody thing and then buy a new one. That I wasn't impressed with. However, thankfully, Stevie came to my rescue and very quickly brought out his modded version of the Big M, which not only means you can change all the colours of it, which is fantastic. So my go-to Big M now is the Black Beast, which we'll have a look at, just because we can. Where are you? Where's Black Beauty? Over here. And not only did he fix the fact of being able to do all the colours, there it is, look at that beautiful beast. All black. Lovely. Not only did he do that, he actually fixed the fuel problem as well. So now the Stevie Big M is 100% working. don't have to worry about the Giants version. I don't believe it's been fixed even with the 1.13 patch. Yeah, it's things like that sort of stack up, and that's the unfortunate part about it, I think. But anyway, I broke it. I did. Yeah, I did break it, Silver. Actually, no, I lie. It wasn't the first bit of equipment I had on the farm when I started up 19. I will admit. Mainly because I started with start from scratch and I didn't have the money to buy one, but it didn't take me long to get a new map up and start playing with it. But yeah, it's a lovely bit of kit. There's a couple of things I love with the game. I think their attention to detail graphically is fantastic. The models and all that sort of stuff, they all look really good. The thing I do like the most about the game so far, and this is bizarre, is I like the shop. I like the store. The fact that you have the 3D option, the fact that you can actually see every iteration of design that you choose as an option, and the fact that you've got the 3D view. That is probably the biggest and greatest addition as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I don't know how many times I sat there buying a mod in 17 and configuring it, and then you get out there, you've bought it, and you go, oh, that's not the green I wanted this green. That was probably, to me, one of the biggest and best new parts of the game. Now, in saying that though, there are a lot of other parts of the game that are very good. I do like the fact you've got the ability of doing your own farm and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, sure, there's things that still have to be fixed on it. We know that. But it is good, and I really can't wait to see what some of our modders do, and map makers. I'm currently playing as it turns out, an Eustace Pharmer, or however you pronounce it, modification, the Outback map. And I mean, look, it was a very quick edit to it, and it could be better, obviously, but I'm enjoying it. It looks like it's going to be some good fun. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how things progress. How are you going over there, Elroy? You need to be emptied yet? Talking to me now. But yeah, I mean,
just went off and come back on.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a few things. The other big thing I do like a lot with this version of the game is the unload ability from all sorts of equipment. So if you buy the Hardy sprayer, you can fill it with herbicide, go spray your field, go back to your farm. You can then unload the herbicide into pallets, into big bags. You can then go off and fill it up with fertilizer and go fertilize your field. So that means a couple of things. You don't have to either empty a piece of equipment to go fill it up with any other herbicide or whatever else, but it means you've got multiple uses for that machine straight off the bat. So it's the same with seeding. You can offload a seeder with seed, and it's fantastic. So that's a very good addition to the equipment and all that as well. And kudos to Giants for coming up with that. I think it's a really good idea. That's another good part of the game I like. And I don't recall, I mean, I apologise to VF and Simulate and Giants if I missed it, but I don't recall that actually being picked up in any of the live streams as well. I mean, again, VF, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was actually very surprised when I saw that functionality. So it was a very pleasant find, so to speak. But yeah, so I've used it a lot here already. So yeah, it's very good.
One of the things I really like, it's only a small detail, but because it's a small detail, is probably the reason why I like it, is how the paint on your header and that is, as the repair state goes down, you lose the paint, it chips off and everything like that. Adds a bit of realism.
Yeah, the wearing state.
Yeah, and the main thing is when you get a great demand, it's not connected to your handbrake anymore on your vehicle.
Yes, that is another good part. That was a very annoying part of the game, and they did fix that, which a lot of people had been quite aggrieved about, and did sort of make it known they wanted that fixed. So, yeah, okay, fair enough, VF. I'm not going to hold you to that. But yeah, I mean, there's all those little things that do make up for the improvement of the game. So I mean, while yes, there are issues with the game, and look, one of the things I've said, one of the things I said very soon after the release of this version, the unfortunate part was, if you recall back to when Pure Farming was released, and everyone absolutely canned it because steering wheels didn't work and all that sort of stuff, and it really got sort of beaten up a little bit. I actually think that Pure Farming had a better release than what Farming Simulator 19 did. And the reason I say that is on a few different levels. Yeah, okay, the steering wheels didn't work, and the keyboard steering was very twitchy. I admit that wasn't great. But one of the things they've done, and they've done right in Pure Farming, was a variety of crops. Now, I'm not going to get started on the fact of forestry and horses. Yeah, there you go, I've said it. But it's not something that I refer to that because I think that it just sort of shows that, like, Pure Farming, for instance, to me, really got done over. And I mean, look, it was understandable. There was a lot of stuff that should have been done. But Farming Simulator 19 was really no better than what Pure Farming was on release in relation to the amount of problems it had with it. So I guess I'm just sort of alluding to the fact that it's very easy for us as consumers and users of the product to sit back and basically abuse or really sort of put down one product when the product that we've all grown and loved comes out and it's not that much better, and in fact on many levels it's worse. I mean, I've been quite clear all the way along that I think Giants have done a couple of things wrong, and I don't agree with the forestry concept. I don't agree with doing the horses. I think, my personal opinion is, I think the horses have been put in the game possibly as a direction or a request from their publisher, from Focus Interactive, to try and get more girls playing the game, to get that interaction. And I mean, I'm not trying to be sexist or anything either, but I think that's definitely part of one of the reasons why they wanted that in the game, to get more girls playing the game. I mean, if that's the case, then why? It's stupid. It's not good enough. It's ill thought out. I don't think the horses and the mechanics of the horses is very good. I don't think the implementation of the horses is very good. As I said, I'm not going to touch horses at all. I'm not even going to review it. Yeah, I mean, that's where I think it's come from. I'm happy to stand corrected. If Giants want to come out and tell me, no, we just did it because we wanted to do horses, fine, that's what you did. I have a really strong feeling, though, that it was either someone in Giants has said we need to capture this market, or their publishers have said that, and that's why they did it. So time will tell, but that's what I think's actually happened. But anyway, but apart from that, there is a lot of good. I do think, though, I really do think that, and wish that Giants, instead of spending so much time on doing models and some of the equipment, they concentrate on getting more crops or more variety of farming in. So bringing in orchards. I mean, Pure Farming showed us that they can do it. You can do it. All that sort of stuff. So that's what I wish they did. Anyway, all right. I'm getting onto a bit of a rant. I don't want to do that. So, and look, VF, yeah, you're quite right. 3 months from now, we won't remember the issues to a degree. I certainly will, because I guess that's the way I am. I think it's more the fact that I want to make sure that we do remember things like that. I remember Roller Coaster Tycoon from Atari and the abysmal effort they did with that. So I do remember the Pure Farming release, all that sort of stuff. But anyway, we move on. I don't want to offload this just for the sake of offloading it. And look, yeah, Farmer Klein, you're quite right too. I think one problem is folks are not seeing it FS19 is its own game. They're treating it like FS17 too. That's quite a fair comment. And there's a lot of people bitching about the fact that the game doesn't look as good, and certain aspects of the game don't look as good. I'll agree to that. But there's a lot of aspects of the game that do look better. The LOD, I think they've done poorly. That's one thing I think is very poor. The shadows are very poor unless you're on a higher game speed. So the shuttering at 1 time speed of shadows is not good enough. The dog is pointless. Yeah, I've got the dog and he was an absolute waste of time, so I sent him to the cannery as well. But yeah, so yeah, there are a lot of good things, but there are also a lot of things that have been either badly implemented or not thought out. So yeah. But anyway, yeah. Look, I mean, Klein, I didn't talk about the dog too much because I thought, oh, it's just a fluff piece anyway when they first sort of announced it and showed it off. But I did spend the $12,500 or whatever it was to have the dog implemented on my farmhouse here, and yeah, it's useless. So yeah. I agree. Okay, so Josh said, I really wanted a placeable factory to make bread and such. Yeah, but look, that's not something that that Giants normally do themselves. It's certainly something that modders will bring in, and I would expect nothing less that once they finalise the LUA, that will certainly be coming. So I have no doubts about that. I already know some of the modders are planning on doing a lot of different buildings and stuff, but they just got to wait for the ability to do it. So anyway, so we'll sort of see. But I mean, it's in a very strong position. A lot of people are still giving it grief in relation to the fact that it looks crap. And look, depends, I suppose, on what you're trying to run it on. There's a lot of people that I've seen making comments that have said, oh, it looks crap, and then you look at the specs they're using. Technically, the specification of the machine they're playing it on, in the case of PC comments, doesn't go anywhere near to meet the minimum requirements of Farming Simulator 17. So, I mean, it's to be expected. You're not going to get a very good looking game experience. So, anyway. And Josh also says, Duck, you say that, but I think my daughters will love them. They don't get into the farming part. Look, and I understand that, but that's what I'm saying in the fact that I think that the addition of the horses, I don't think was done purely on an aspect of it being a farming aspect. I think I don't like saying it, I think it was primarily done just for sales, and to get more females playing the game. I think that's really what it was for. Anyway, I mean, that is what it is. It's in the game now. We have to deal with it. And some like it, like so VF likes it. But yeah, I don't. I think they would have been better myself spending time developing things like orchards or other farming crops and stuff like that, more so than doing that. But hey, I mean, get it? Yeah, we got to live with it. So that's what it is. But hopefully there'll be some more work. Now the good part is we did see some screenshots too, as I digress a little bit. Realismus Modding are working on seasons. So they put out a couple of screenshots where they're working with the new weed system, which is great to see. So hopefully it won't be too long and we'll have seasons, and that will again bring us some fantastic gameplay. Now I'm not going to sit here this time and say that I'm never going to play seasons like I did with Farming Simulator 17 when our good friend Jerry was showcasing it in the early build. Never going to use seasons, it's too hard, just too silly. I can't wait for seasons. After I made that silly statement, I don't think I played many games at all without seasons. So we're really looking forward to seasons hitting for 19. And exactly, VF, and that's exactly what we were talking about before. I think it was either Silver or Josh said you can choose what you want now. So if you don't want to have the horses, you don't have to have the horses. So that ability to pick and choose is a fundamentally great improvement in the game. You're doing well, JJ. Almost finished.
I was actually going to say, if you want to swap, just say so.
I'm all good. I'm all good. At least at the moment, I can offload into the silo, so I think we'll just keep on going as it is.
Right out.
If you're happy to do that.
Oh, perfectly okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, Season was very obviously deserving of being the best mod of 17. They did a fantastic job. Hats off to them. It was very complete, and in itself, it also gave the ability to have very varied gameplay, like the fact that you put your own geo in. So like you could play Lone Oak with a UK, with an American geo, or you could play Pemberley Farm with a UK one, or you could play I think there was one of the Polish maps with a Polish geo, and you could play Southern Expansion with an Australian geo, and you got the growth cycles and the plant cycles that were closely aligned with those countries. So like the Australian geo, for instance, meant that I had the ability to basically mow grass all year round. I think there was only two game days in the whole of the year if you're playing a 12-day or even 16-day cycle. That you couldn't mow grass, but that was part of the Australian conditions because it's very dry, it's very hot, very humid, and you don't have much of a non-growth cycle. So yeah, whereas you go to a old European country and you have a lot of problems with snow and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, very good.
I was really looking forward to the release of the Australian geo.
It's a great geo. I mean, what did I play that on? Beaver Creek. So my Beaver Creek series was based on the Australian geo, and I had an absolute ball with that. I really did. I really enjoyed Beaver Creek. That was Beaver Creek Mark II, mind you. Yeah, had an absolute ball. It was a really, really good geo, and it was just a shame that we didn't get a decent Australian map. That would have made it all better. That southern expansion map or whatever it was just wasn't quite up to standard.
Yeah, I wanted it for the Broad Acres map. I ended up using the Midwest, and I did a bit of editing on the geo myself, but not that good at the editing. So the Australian one I was really looking forward to.
Yeah,
it's a shame it didn't.
The thing, Broadacre sort of killed me. It was just too big, and I did play it solo play for a long time, but it just wasn't. It was just too big and wasn't wieldy enough. It wasn't easy to play it as a streaming or a recording map. So I didn't do it for that. But I did play the Australian geo on that, and it was quite good. But anyway. Silver says, "Isn't the snow mask built into FS now as a base game?" I'm not 100% sure, mate. I'm really not. I mean, I'm not into that sort of level of depth. VF may be able to sort of clarify that. If not, I'm sure I can find out from the lads at Frontier. They'll very quickly. Sorry?
Stancio Lapacho, they put it in with the Platinum release. They put it as part of the map.
For 19 you're talking about, or are you talking about 17?
17, I know they had the snow mask.
Yeah, they did for 17, but I think Silver's talking about 19, saying that the snow mask is built into Farming Simulator as a part of the base game.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, I mean, it would make sense to do it if they know how popular Seasons was, and if they did it in a Stancio Lapacho, I'm sure they would have done it. But I suppose the only way to find out
it would be logical if they had. And noting that Goss works for Farming Simulator now, he works for Giants, and he came for the Realismus modding crew. I'm sure that there'd be some sort of tie in there somewhere, but anyway. I mean, look, overall, the game still has promise, and I'm sure that they, as I said earlier, I do know that the main patch coming out for a lot of the fixes is coming out in 2, maybe 3 weeks, and that should fix a lot of the stuff. The terrain editor is really important. We do need that, and I really hope they do a really good job of that. It's not just a piecemeal thing. If they do that right, we can probably fix and live with a lot of the stuff we have now. But they definitely need that. They definitely need some way of putting down roads and paths, and that. And once we've got that, I think we'll be in a far better position going forward.
Can contractors do repairs on the vehicles? I'm starting to lose a bit of speed here.
I think you probably can. You think it's going to last for the rest of the harvest?
I could do, but I could quickly just do it when I get to the corner.
I haven't actually done any repairs yet, to be honest. I've done the refueling when I ran out of fuel with the tractor in the middle of a field. Alright, well, yeah, there's a couple of mods that let you sort of terraform to a point, lets you put down a flat area. I haven't found them to be great. Still not perfect. I'd much rather have a terraform tool where you can go through and manipulate the ground a little bit, but how that's going to work, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. Yeah.
I can't repair it because I don't own it. You have to repair it.
Okay, alright. Dusty Dave says that will be removed in patch 2. Wasn't meant to be there. I'm assuming that's the snow mask, Dave? Okay, well that makes some sense. Manipulate the ground a little bit. Alright, well, unfortunately, guys, it's time for me to basically call it there. So, thanks very much for joining us. It's been fun. Hopefully next time we can get on here, we can get Jerry and possibly even Eustace and a few of the other boys and girls back on here. It was a bit of an impromptu one this morning, but I was going to be on here anyway, so I figured, well, why not? Let's do a bit of streaming and have a bit of a chat. As always, I thank you all for coming in and joining us. Farmer Klein, Silver Dragon, Dusty Dave, VF, Joshua. It's an absolute pleasure having you here with us. And VF, I'm still can't believe you didn't show off the big M for me. But anyway, it's all good. It's all good. I'll get over it. So thanks very much for joining us, and particularly thanks to Jimmy J and Elroy for coming in on the server with us. It's a great time on here, and for those of you that aren't already aware, if you're on my Discord channel, certainly for the VIPs and the streamers, so VF and Flying and that, you can join at any time you like. So just check out the channel, same with Dave. So yeah, so please consider coming on. Don't forget to press that like button. If you're not already a subscriber, consider subscribing as well. And apart from that, thanks Dave, we'll see you soon. Thanks again, and we'll see you all very, very soon. So no matter where you are in the world, whether it be morning, afternoon, evening or night, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. And we'll see you again very soon back here at Duckzorly Gaming. Take care. See you later. Bye.